She looked me in the eye one evening and said, "You can't even afford my lifestyle." I smiled, took a deep breath, and replied, "Good thing you're not in it then." Back then, I was a mechanic. 10 hours a day in a garage full of grease, noise, and sweat. My hands were rough, my clothes smelled like oil, and my pay barely covered the bills. But I was content, because I believed love mattered more than money. When we first met, she didn't seem to care about all that. She said she liked my simplicity, my passion for fixing broken things. Not just cars, but people too. We'd sit under the stars on the hood of my old truck, talking about dreams and building a future together. She once told me, "You'll make it big one day." I believed her, but life has a strange way of showing you who's real. As time passed, little things started to change. She started comparing our lives with her friends, comparing my effort with someone else's income. She'd scroll through social media and sigh, saying things like, "Look at them, vacations, designer clothes, new apartments. And look at us." At first, I laughed it off. I thought it was just a phase. But her sighs turned into silence, and her silence turned into distance. Then came the night that changed everything. She was late. Again. Said she had a meeting with a client. When she finally showed up, she smelled different. Expensive perfume. Fancy dress. I joked, "That's one classy client." She didn't laugh. A week later, I went to meet her for dinner at our favorite spot. But when I walked in, she was already there, sitting across from a man in a tailored suit, laughing like she used to laugh with me. She saw me. Her smile faded. I didn't say a word. I just turned around and walked out. That night I didn't sleep. I didn't cry either. I just stared at the ceiling and thought about all the times I said, "I'll catch up one day." And maybe that's what she couldn't wait for. My someday. The next morning, she was gone. All she left behind was a note. "You deserve someone who wants the same things you do. I just need more." For weeks I went silent. No calls, no messages, no explanations, just work. Then one afternoon while scrolling, I saw her post. She was with that same man. Caption said, "Some people bring out the best in you. Others just hold you back." That one hit harder than any breakup ever could. But I didn't reply. I didn't post anything. Because sometimes silence screams louder than revenge. Months passed. I kept my head down and focused on the one thing that never betrayed me, my work. Then one day, life changed again. An old client walked into the garage. He had just opened a new auto shop and said he needed someone he could trust to manage it. "I've seen your dedication," he said. "You work like the place belongs to you." That line hit me. Because I always treated my job like it was mine, even when it wasn't. He offered me double the salary, a percentage of profits, and full creative control. I took the offer. I worked harder than ever. Late nights, new systems, loyal customers. Within months, the shop became one of the top-rated in the city. People started recognizing me. My name, the same name she once said would never make it, was now on every customer's lips. Then one day, she showed up. I was outside the shop talking to a supplier when I saw her car pull in. Same hair, same perfume, same nervous smile. "Hey," she said softly, like nothing ever happened. I nodded. "Hey," she looked around. "You did all this?" "Yeah," I said. "Built it from scratch," she smiled faintly. "I'm happy for you." There was a pause. Then she said, "Ryan and we didn't work out. Turns out money doesn't make someone loyal." I didn't say anything, just nodded. Then she asked, "Do you ever think about us?" I looked at her and said, "Sometimes, but not the way you think. I think about how far I've come since you left." She blinked, silent. Then I added, "You were right that I couldn't afford your lifestyle." "But now, you couldn't afford mine." She looked down. "What lifestyle?" she asked softly. I smiled. "Peace, freedom, self-respect." And just like that, she left. Again. But this time I didn't feel broken. I felt free. Weeks later, I met someone new, Leah. She wasn't flashy. No fancy clothes, no high-maintenance attitude, just real. She loved how passionate I was about my work. Sometimes she'd come to the garage with lunch. We'd talk about small things, dreams, goals, even silly stuff. One day, she said something I'll never forget. People don't fall in love with others. They fall in love with how they feel around them. That line changed everything for me. With her, I felt calm. No pressure to prove myself, no fear of losing her to a richer man. Just peace. Months later, at a mutual friend's wedding, I saw my ex again. She smiled and said, "You look happy?" I smiled back and said, "I am." And for the first time, I truly meant it. Later that night, I sat near the ocean, watching the waves crash against the shore, and whispered to myself, "You made it. Not rich, not famous, but free." Because maybe she was right. I couldn't afford her lifestyle. But she could never afford my peace, and that's the thing. You can buy everything in this world except loyalty, effort, and peace of mind. Those things you have to earn. So if someone ever tells you, "You can't afford my lifestyle," smile and say, "You're right." Because I don't pay in money. I pay in love, loyalty, and peace. And that's a currency you'll never understand.